Hey guys, welcome to Happy Hunting. Today I want to show you uh, pinpointing with discrimination on a Spectra V3i. Most of the detectors that I use, when you go into pinpointing mode, you kind of go into an all-metal mode, and you really can't discriminate on targets very well. Well, the V3i is the same way. It goes into an all-metal mode, but because it has 3 frequencies, you can really figure out what you are pinpointing on, and I'll show you that in a minute. So a little bit about my setup. I just have a Spectra V3i, and then I have a really large coil, which makes it harder to pinpoint anyway when you've got an area with a lot of trash in it, and you're trying to go for something like a coin or a silver ring around with a lot of aluminum or other junk you don't want. So that's kind of the premise here. The test bed, I'm at a townhome, so I really can't dig, but that's okay. I'm going to use, I kind of like having it here on the concrete because we get a visual of what I'm over the top of, because this is kind of a pinpointing demonstration. And I'll hold the coil 3 or 4 inches off the ground. I'm not going to put it flat over the top of these things, so I'll get some air distance in there at least, and then we'll look at what this detector's telling us. So here's my really simple test bed. I got 3 objects here. You should all be familiar with these guys. I got a zinc penny, I got a regular clad quarter, and I got my favorite, the aluminum pull tab. And you know, there's a little bit of distance in between. And what I'm going for today is not really the recovery of this detector, that I can sweep it and that I can get, you know, 3 beeps on this guy. I'm not really going to demonstrate something like that. It's really the pinpointing mode and making sure I can pinpoint over the object that I'm after here. So I'm going to go ahead and, for those not familiar with the V3i, it's a 3-frequency system, and it has 3 bands on it in the standard display. You have a 22.5 kilohertz on the top, which is typically in blue. You have a 7.5 kilohertz in the middle, which is typically red, and then on the bottom you have a 2.5 kilohertz, which is in green. And you get that while you're both sweeping over the top of the, you know, coins, and also in pinpoint mode. You get all 3 of those things. So I'm going to just show, I'm going to wave this over the top a few times. I'm probably not going to have my recovery set up fast enough to pick up all 3 of these devices and hear 3 separate beeps. And we'll look at the VDI and see what we get here. So in this case, I'm out in the field and I'm swinging the thing around, and I'm getting a lot of stuff all over the place. I'm a few inches off the ground here, about 3-4 inches. So I'm like, I know I got something there. And I could go from different angles and try to pinpoint it down that way, and I could do, you know, little tight shakes on stuff too. But this part is really cool when I go to pinpoint mode. I'm going to go to that now, and what you'll see is 3 graphs come up. Now as I go over the top of this aluminum pull tab, you're going to notice that blue, which is the high frequency, really max out. And as I head toward that quarter, the green, the 2.5 kilohertz maxes out, and as I head toward that zinc penny, the red maxes out. You probably can't see where I am on the ground very well. The idea of having these things on the ground, and you could see as I'm going over the top, was cool in concept, but maybe not so good on the filming here. I'm going to go one more time, so I'm going to go from left to right. So here we go over the top of the, you should be able to see red peek out when I go over the top of the zinc penny. And it is. And then when I get toward that quarter, which is in the middle, now we're maxing out in the green area. And then finally, when we get down toward this aluminum pull tab, at the blue. So that's kind of cool using such a big coil like this. And when I'm pinpointing, I get a certain sense of discrimination. So if I was in an area with a lot of iron and a lot of junk and a lot of aluminum, I can pinpoint still really over the top of a clad quarter or a ring or something that's high ferrous, that's going to register really high on the 2.5 kilohertz. Anyway, let me know if you've got a Spectra V3i, or if your detector like how's pinpointing for you, or do you just dig a big hole when you come to something like this, or do you just use a smaller sharpshooter coil? Put me a comment down below, and let me know what you think, and your experiences on things like this. Thanks for watching. Till the next one.